Hi guys, I'm Landon, and this is David, and we're Taffy Hoops, and we're back at it again with 2021 All Star predictions. And so this year we don't know if there is going to be an All Star game because of just a certain disease that is in this country, in this world. But um, but yeah, we know that the Players Association and like Chris Paul and stuff want an All Star game, so hopefully there can be. And if there is, we're just gonna say what our predictions are. And voting just opened up for it yesterday too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so with the East starters, we have the same list but different captains with Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, Jaylen Brown, and Bradley Beal.
I think it's just. I think this is pretty self-explanatory for most of
Right.
these people.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen a lot of arguments against Bradley Beal just because he's on the worst team in the league.
yeah, but I think being the leading scorer in the league,
Definitely.
like, it's not like he's not doing all he can trying to win. I think he deserves a All Star appearance. Definitely starter. Because when you think about it, he has had like 50-point games, 40 like 8-point games where his team still loses.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what can you do?
Right.
So
Definitely. So with the West starters, we have a bit of a disagreement. I have Jokic, Leonard, LeBron, Mitchell, and Doncic.
and I have Jokic, Leonard, LeBron, Paul George, and Luka Doncic. That's one.
So I had Donovan Mitchell in because he's leading the number one team in the West right now, putting up great stats. So why do you put Paul George in instead?
I think just because a lot of this is like, I don't know, it's all about the storyline, and I just feel like Paul George just came off of playoff P performance where he was
Subpar for sure.
subpar in the bubble, and
Yeah.
he's back to like All Star level this year, so he's definitely going to be an All Star this year. But I just think he's going to be able to get that guard vote.
I think he could be in the MVP conversation.
Oh yeah.
But because the Jazz are the number one seed, I feel like it's good to put Donovan Mitchell in there as one of those starters. With the East reserves, we both have Sabonis, James Harden, Bam Adebayo, Jason Tatum, and Kyrie Irving, but we disagree on some of the guards. So I have Trae Young and Zach LaVine, while you have Colin Sexton and Malcolm Brogdon. So why do you make those decisions instead?
I just think so Colin Sexton instead of Trae Young. I just think mainly Colin Sexton is leading his team this year, and not that Trae Young isn't.
Yeah.
But like, people expected the Hawks to be better this year,
Right.
and they expected the Cavs to be way lower.
Mm-hmm.
And he's taken the Hawks, and I think they're technically like if the season ended today, they'd be in the.
Both teams would be in the playoffs, but the Hawks would be the 8th seed.
Yeah, they'd be like definitely in the playoffs. I think they're like 6th seed, right?
Yeah.
And then Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, that might just be a little biased as a Pacer fan, and even David's a Pacer fan too. But yeah, I definitely think that he deserves to be in an All-Star game.
One reason why I had Trae Young over Colin Sexton was his highs are so high and his lows are so low. It's like his ceiling is much higher than Colin Sexton this season. So I think before the All-Star game, he'll really show like why he should be an All-Star.
Yeah.
With Zach LaVine, he's just posting really good numbers, career highs in every stat. And Malcolm Brogdon, who has been improving a lot, I just don't think he gets there, especially since the Pacers already have one All-Star in.
Yeah. Actually, I guess two of people on our list here that I could see maybe Adebayo not making it.
Yeah.
Just because of, I don't know.
The Heat's record.
How it's kind of like the opposite of the Cavs.
Yeah.
People expected them to be up there this year, but they're not up there this year.
Right.
And like he hasn't really had help from Jimmy Butler this year just because of a certain disease.
Yeah.
And then again, Kyrie also could be kind of.
Yeah, he missed like 7 or 8 games, I think.
He just hasn't really been there for his team, but that only gives him more publicity, so maybe he'll be voted.
Right, definitely. With the West reserves, we both share Anthony Davis, Paul George, and Donovan Mitchell. Some of us had in starters. Brandon Ingram, Steph Curry, and Damian Lillard. But we disagreed on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, CJ McCollum, Devin Booker, and Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, I just think like Shai is She's gonna be an all-star eventually, I think.
Yeah.
I just don't think this year is it.
Mhm.
Cat, I don't know. I just think he deserves another all-star appearance, and he
Yeah.
didn't get it last year.
Right.
But I think he could do it this year. And Booker, I honestly don't really know about Booker just because of that Suns team just distributes the shares ball so much that maybe Booker might not even make it. I don't know exactly what he's averaging, but it's kind of less than he usually averages.
Yeah. I put C.J. McCollum over Devin Booker just because like he's almost putting up equal stats with Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
And they have a better record.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why I could put him over there.
See that.
And then Shea Gilgeous-Alexander over Cat just because Shea's leading them into near the playoff picture right now. They're in the 9 seed, I think. So they're super close to that playoff spot, even though they were expected to do horribly. So it's similar to your Colin Sexton pick with Shea.
Yeah.
And with the snubs that both of us did not have on our list, Jeremy Grant of the Detroit Pistons, who has been playing really well, maybe most improved player lists, but I don't think he's done enough to become an all-star.
I think he eventually, like most of these people,
have been all-stars
or will probably eventually be all-stars on
right.
this list.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy Grant's one of those.
Yeah.
I'm just now realizing you probably could have put Christian Wood on that list too.
Oh, true.
Jeremy Grant and like Christian Wood, I feel like this season are kind of the same, of just kind of they're quality role players, but now they're like kind of taking on almost stars of their team.
Jeremy Grant's definitely taken more of a wing approach to that though.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why I had him on here for the snubs and not Christian Wood. Mm-hmm. For Ben Simmons, he seemed like when Joel Embiid's been out, Ben Simmons has not been playing well at all.
Yeah, he's not been playing well this season, so I don't even know if this is a snub.
Yeah, I could see people still putting him in there though.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Chris Middleton, even though the Bucks have been playing really well this season, I don't think he can become like a 50-40-90 guy and get into the All-Star game.
Exactly. Even though he's been looking pretty good this season.
Right.
Like I think he's been driving a lot more this season.
Right. So he's been looking like a good player, but he just doesn't seem like a guy to surpass some of those wings and forwards.
Yeah.
With Gordon Hayward of the Charlotte Hornets, he's been playing pretty well, but
he's at the moment the best player on that Hornets team.
Right.
Which I don't know if that's going to be true at the end of the season, but
right.
For now, he definitely is the best player on that Hornets team. Tobias Harris, he's been looking good on the Sixers this year, and I think he's been looking good this season. It's just kind of like the Devin Booker situation and like Suns situation of they have a lot of people who are sharing the ball. It's like
It seems hard for me to put Tobias Harris in without putting Ben Simmons in.
Yeah, definitely. Because Ben Simmons is that next best player.
Right.
Even if
he's not
at the moment. Tobias Harris technically putting up better numbers than Ben Simmons.
Right. And Miles Turner, we just had to put him in because he's been leading the league in blocks and
we're a little biased. We're a little biased.
Yeah. And then Rudy Gobert for the Utah Jazz. Maybe they deserve 2 All-Stars because of their number 1 seed right now, but I don't know. Devin Booker, you had him in there. I did not.
Yeah.
Right. Chris Paul, same thing with the Suns, sharing the ball a lot, and they might not put up great stats, but they can still sneak into the All-Star game.
You never know with Chris Paul, though. I feel like there's a lot of years where like he's not going to be an All-Star this year. Like last year, I don't think people thought he was going to be an All-Star, but he was, and he didn't alley-oop. So.
Yeah. With John Morant, I would have put him in here if he didn't get injured. He's only played 5 games this season, so it's hard for me to put him in with only 5 games in. Mm-hmm. And then Zion Williamson.
He's looking weird to see. Like he's putting up good points, good numbers, but like he's not winning,
and he's not playing good defense. Like
I think people are realizing that John might be the better player in that draft class.
When you watch the Pelicans, you're expecting like Duke Zion, where he's just dominating on defense, getting high flying dunks, or not dunks, well, and dunks, but blocks too. You're expecting a lot from Zion, and maybe that might be why we're expecting too much from him, just because of how well he played in Duke. But I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it through fan vote and gets into the
I even had it on my list earlier when I didn't realize that we weren't doing who we thought should be in the All Star game because I just thought he would definitely get in for Fernando.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's our picks for this All Star game for this year's All Star game if it happens. So make sure in the comments below you let us know if you think that someone who we left out should have been in or someone that we put in you don't think is going to make it this year. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video.
Mhm.
And coming up in a few weeks, once my finger is non-broken, we're probably going to do some real life basketball stuff. And so make sure that you leave ideas for punishments because the losers of that we're probably going to do like one-on-one.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
loser of that's going to have a punishment. And
Yeah.
we're just going to do whatever punishment is most liked in the comments below.
Right.
This video and next week's video. And then the week after that's probably going to be the
One-on-one.
IRL
Yeah.
basketball video.
Yeah. Also, if you don't want to miss out on that video, please subscribe.
We'll see you next Saturday. Peace.